Peripheral Health and Education Committee meeting. First order of business on the agenda is minutes approval, and I need a motion and a second to approve the minutes, please.
So move.
Soriano, thank you. A second?
Second.
All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Okay, thank you very much. Mr. King is with us this evening for community care. Mr. King, welcome. You're first up, of course. Mayor is going to join him because we have not only a report, but some discussion of the community care lease, which is up for renewal. Mr. King, welcome, sir.
Thank you.
Address this if you would.
Specific to the lease.
We'll go with the report first,
Okay.
if you wish.
Financially, we are having a pretty good year. We've had a battle with NCOs taking over the Medicaid program in the state of Tennessee, but I think we've made some headway with that. Had a good month of collections during the month of March. Facility is, some of you may not know that, the facility is a county-owned land and building. It leases it to a board that the county commission appoints. It's been in operation as a nursing home in this site since 1961. It's actually been on that site as the county farm since 1892. So we've got a long history of helping indigent, needy people in this county. The lease is up for renewal. Years ago, it was an annual renewal, and starting in 2006, it was requested that it be a 5-year renewal. It has a 30-day out for either party, so that pretty much protects the county and the facility if something operationally were to happen.
Okay, let's hold off on the lease for just a minute,
Okay.
and the mayor wants to address it just a second, and we all have been given draft copies and also the copy and on the community care report. Are there any questions? I assume everyone has their copy, I believe.
Move to approve the report.
Thank you, Commissioner Phillips. Second?
Second.
Thank you, Commissioner Turner. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Okay, community care report. Now, if you would look at your copy, draft copy there of this lease, Sunstand is for 5 years, and also you have a regular copy. We will eventually here, well, Mr. Mayor, you go ahead and address this. You or Mr. King, either one, or both of you.
Okay, let me, this copy that you have labeled draft, that contains the lease that's currently in existence. And you'll notice on the second page, the first page I don't suggest any changes. The second page, under paragraph 3 there, I'm suggesting substantial changes. And pretty much, this is what's been in place as far as the lease is concerned, but it's not what we're practicing. If you'll read through here, it says that the lessor agrees to repair and replace defective heating and air conditioning, smoke detector, everything inside the building. And we've not been doing that. The lessee, community care retirement residential center has been providing that. So I'm just, and further it says that the lessor maintains fire insurance and extended coverage. The lessee is now providing that. We're not providing that. So that bolded paragraph there that changes all of that basically says that the lessor, we're still being responsible for the basic roof, foundation, and outside walls, but everything else, including the interior furnishings and all the mechanical and electrical and smoke detectors, all of that is to be maintained and repaired by the lessee. And all expendable supplies, etc., are the lessee's responsibility. All utilities are the lessee's responsibility, and the lessee shall maintain fire insurance. So I have changed that. Mr. King has reviewed that, and I believe he's agreed that this is the practice that we've been, I don't know how we approved this lease 5 years ago with that in there, but it was there.
So this,
Your recommendation is just to bring us into compliance with what we're actually doing.
What we're actually doing, yes, sir.
It's actually just two letters difference, leaser and leasee, and I don't know that that's what happened, but it was always the practice. I think if we went back and looked at the annual leases, it was always my understanding when I was hired in 2000, the facility is to maintain the operational issues, and the county was to be indemnified from any day-to-day cost. And so I don't know that that's what happened, but I wonder if that's what happened. Because two letters, two double E's or an OR.
But in any event, that language doesn't reflect what we're doing.
No.
It doesn't reflect what we need to be doing. So
The county doesn't need that liability.
So we've changed that in paragraph 10. I've inserted a couple of clarifications again of emphasis to again further emphasize that the damages for fire, explosion, tornado, whatever, they shall be repaired by the lessee. And if this whole building were happen to be destroyed and neither one of us canceled it, then it would still be the lessee's responsibility to put the building back, rebuild it back if they so chose under the terms of their insurance agreement, et cetera. So those are the only changes that I believe are necessary. And the other document simply reflects those changes that I told you about there in it and clean those up. And this, I don't know, Community Care has their own attorney, and we sent it to him. I don't know if he's had the chance to read it, but subject to his review and subject to the review of our county attorney, this is what we would recommend that we renew this lease for an additional 5 years.
The county is named as a other insured under our insurance. So I don't think the intent was ever that the county was gonna have their own insurance.
Mr. King, was those changes discussed at your board meeting?
Yes, sir.
Okay, and they approved it?
Yes, sir.
Okay. I saw those in the minutes, but I didn't see where those changes were discussed in
Well,
those minutes.
we really, I don't believe Mr. King talked about that at the board meeting. We told him it was gonna have to renew this lease. I actually just finally retrieved this out of the archives.
Okay.
After that board meeting, okay? So they probably will need to agree with what we've said here as well.
But they're probably under the impression that it says.
It's been
what the
done that way
changes
for
are.
years.
I think the first 5 were done where the county had no day-to-day liability, and I know the other insurance was always required. I don't know how it happened. I don't really know. But
Well, somehow,
operationally, we've carried it and we'll continue to carry it if you're blessed the approval.
Also, I'll bring out here that we've got the daycare in this lease, in which we didn't have it before.
this daycare was allowed in this original lease. This is
Yeah, there was
part
an
of-
addendum.
It was in there 5 years ago it was.
Okay.
That's not new. We don't know who drafted the lease. I don't think the county attorney drafted the lease originally. So, but in the event, this is what we have.
I think originally we did,
But
but
then
at some
somehow-
point, their attorney did it.
Okay. Anyway, that's where we are, and we just want to clean this up and let it reflect the appropriate relationship.
If there are other questions, now would be a great time to ask them, and if there's a motion and a second, the motion should reflect that we'd like for the attorneys to look over both agreements so we can approve it and subject to their approval. If not, I would assume it would come back to us if there's a problem.
If there are changes, yes, sir.
Questions or a motion?
Make a motion that we accept the new draft and send it to both attorneys, the county and the Community Care Board attorney. And Mitch, do you want to be in on this when they talk about it, or you just want Mr. Shannon just to come back to you?
I would prefer Mr. Shannon review it, give me something in writing.
And Mr.
present that
Cope.
to the board.
Okay.
I don't
You want,
see a
you want that
problem.
done by a board meeting?
Yeah.
And I don't know what the date
We don't-
is. It's the
If our board
first
meeting
Thursday.
doesn't happen before the next commission meeting, we can
We
wait.
still got June.
We still got the June to do this.
Okay.
We still got the June meeting.
Okay.
So it's got to go back to them as well.
Motion is to send it to the county attorney, Mr. Cope, and to Mitch Shannon, our board attorney, and then for it to go to the Community Care Board.
Okay, you've heard the motion, I need a second.
Second.
Soriano, thank you.
The motion is we're approving it, so it doesn't have to come back to us.
Yeah,
Right.
subject to their final review.
Okay.
Will this go to the commission?
I guess it did before, yeah, it did. I wasn't here then, but I
So are
think
you
it did.
potentially gonna send it at the June commission if it's going back
See.
to the board?
The board meets,
Next week.
well, the board
So I
will
may
meet.
have time.
We have time then. Yeah.
Okay.
Next Thursday. Thursday
So,
week.
May,
Thursday
are you
week.
saying May then, the May commission,
Yeah, we can send it to the May commission.
Yes.
which is the 12th, so we'll make it under that. Okay, you've heard the motion in a second, is there any further discussion? All in favor? Please say aye. Aye. Any opposed? There is none, thank you, King.
Thank you.
We okay there, the report and, thank you, Mr. Mayor. Garrett, Health Department is with us this evening, and she has sent us a good deal of material today.
Yes, I have a little bit extra in here for you guys today. The first report is that normal monthly report that I give you guys, and that is just right on target with where we would expect to be this time of year. Very steady numbers in our patient encounters in both our sites, so there's no real change or anything that we need to necessarily discuss on that report. And the second part that I've included, if it's all right to go ahead and talk about that.
Yeah, that's okay,
Okay.
we'll put on them together unless someone
Okay.
has a
It's
problem.
just some information that I was very pleased with, and I thought you guys would be too, so I thought I would share it. For 2 years now, the federal government has mandated that all counties in every state be ranked regarding their health, the health of their county. Last year, we were third in the state, and again this year, we are third in the state. So a very good high ranking. And I just made a few little talking points about, so I could tell you a few of the highlights from the report. You can go online if anybody's interested, the public, or you guys want to see more. It's really user-friendly. It's www.countyhealthrankings.org, countyhealthrankings.org, and you can read all the detail about it that you might want. Number one, I have to take this chance to say thank you for your continued support in all the things that the health department brings to you and tries to do. The mayor is always extremely supportive. You guys are always extremely supportive. And it's been amazing what kind of projects and things that we've gotten to accomplish, the Smyrna Health Department over the last few years. Now we're doing a new addition to that. Some of the things we have working with the county and city school programs and all that. It's amazing what we've been able to do, and it really does show back to you guys on how much you support us, and I appreciate that. There were a few other positive things that came out of this report. In 2005, we, being the state of Tennessee, were ranked 22nd in immunizations of toddlers, which was good, but not great. And we worked really, really hard implementing some new programs and making changes across the whole state. And this year we ranked first in the whole nation. So we don't get to be first a lot. So it's nice to tell you about that in the state of Tennessee.
The whole nation, not the state,
Yeah,
just the whole nation.
the whole nation. So Tennessee is a state for the whole nation. And so that was great. I wanted to share that one with you. That's just amazing, wonderful. And there were a few other things that we did as a state for the Tennessee Department of Health. Smoking, we've been tracking those numbers and trying to implement programs, smoking cessation medicines and classes and education and teen education and school education. And you can see we went from 45th to 41st, so we're going in the right direction. We still have a ways to go, but we're doing good. We're going in the right direction with that. We overall ranking for the state of Tennessee was 48 in 2008, and the most recent ranking that we have, we were 42nd. so we're moving quite a bit up in the right direction on that one. And it's also the 20-year high for the state of Tennessee, so we're doing some good things there. Our public health department serves the largest provider of outpatient health services in the state, nearly 2 million patient encounters annually through the public health departments. And in Rutherford County, our 2 health departments last year, we had 60,000 patient encounters that we saw. There's something in the state of Tennessee called the Safety Net clinics, and these are clinics that do primary care for uninsured persons. And that includes the health department and federally qualified health centers and faith-based centers and community centers. And they did 600,000 patient encounters. So it's just amazing what we are able to accomplish, and some positive things. I know we often hear about a lot of negative things, and so I wanted to bring some of these positive factors to light. Specifically back to Rutherford County, they broke down some of the individual things, and we had our strength areas for overall mortality and morbidity where we ranked 3rd and 7th in all 95 counties. So that talks about premature death and illness and sick days, and that kind of explains that on the report there. So I thought that was amazing. And then it also points out areas where we need to improve and things that we need to work on. In Rutherford County, one of the areas where we ranked lower was physical environment, and that includes access to healthy food and access to recreational areas and facilities. And there's some programs and projects that we've been working with the schools to try to get recreational areas open to the public and those kind of things to try to make that number better and more accessible.
Do they come up with that number from privately owned, like gymnasiums, or
No.
like the Y, or is that just public areas?
Any public areas that are, yeah. So I think it's amazing some of the things we have, like Greenways and the Smyrna Greenway and ours and Murfreesboro. And it's just amazing some of the things we have, but apparently that's an area we still need to work on and make sure that some of our more rural areas in the county have access to things. And the best way to do that is really through the schools, because we know we have schools in every area, but there's things like liability about people being on the grounds after hours and that. So we're working on those. It's one of our initiatives that we're working with. We also been working with county and city planners on just how we lay out our community to make it healthier, more bike friendly, more walk friendly. Mr. DeMasi is very up on this and has read a lot. This is a big thing for city planners to be involved in and county planners to be involved in. And so we've been working with him to try. So it's something we're aware of. We know it's a weakness that we're working on and aware of and working on it.
Any other questions? Ms. Gary? If not, I'd like a motion to approve the report, please.
So moved.
Mr. Turner, thank you. A second? Mr. Jordan, all in favor? Aye. Thank you, Ms. Gary. Well done. I would suggest, as an aside, that one reason we continue to improve here is good leadership on your part and before you, too, as well.
So thank you.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Ms. Garrett, maybe it would show good support for your board members.
Yes.
If maybe you could invite at least the chairperson or any member of this committee to come to their next little board meeting.
Yes, that
We just
would.
have an annual meeting now.
Yes,
So
yes.
it would show some.
Yeah, that would be wonderful if any of you are available. May 12th, I think. I'll send you an email, but I think it's May 12th at noon. And I'll send you, an
Please.
email or fax. Is fax better for you?
Fax, mhm.
Okay.
I'm
I'll get
having
them.
trouble with the computer now.
They do that sometimes. But yes, and I would love to.
May 12th.
Yeah.
At noontime.
Yeah.
You are going to email us?
Yeah.
Okay.
I will.
All right.
I will. To make sure you know about that, because that would be great. That would be wonderful. Thank
Thank
you for the suggestion.
Thank you, Ms. Gary.
Thank you.
Special Projects Report, Ms. Jolly's with us this evening. Ms. Jolly, welcome. I'm almost going to bet that there's probably no changes in this report whatsoever.
I just did this report today. So I didn't even look over it. She hadn't had it very long.
When you're not building anything, not much happens. They're not moving any money much lately, particularly in the school area, so I guess we're in pretty good shape. Questions from Ms. Jolly at all? I believe it's almost identical, really, except for changing the months on our last report.
When do they anticipate letting bids on, or opening bids on Stewart Creek, or do we? Or have we even got that back where we can? Early June?
I think that's
I know,
correct.
right?
Mr. Clardy
Yeah.
told me last week that he was
That'd be very
expecting-
interesting to see where they come in, you
Yes.
know, and I know there's some stuff hinging upon where they do come in also. so.
Exactly correct. I think Mr. Clardy said he was hoping they would be in before the first commission meeting in June. And he had some hope from that, but he was in no position to guarantee.
And I signed the purchase order for the Eagle Bowl design today.
I need a motion to approve Ms. Jolly's report.
So moved.
Mr. Cook, thank you. A second? Mr. Soriano, all in favor? If there's no discussion, please say aye. Aye. Thank you, Ms. Jolly. Appreciate it very much. Mr. Sandvik? I have one school board amendment. All of you have 21 copies of the amendment.
I brought my copy.
He brought 4 copies. If there's anyone in the county that needs a copy, it'll be in Mr. Sandvik's office at the school board. Stacked high as you go in the door.
I just have one amendment tonight. And it.
Out of 21.
Yes.
Not 21.
And, yeah, the school board and the commission both approved the $350,000 design for both phases of the Eagleville School addition. As we got a little bit further in the construction, working toward cleanup of the 2 middle schools, as I mentioned earlier, we would bring an amendment back with the final funding. This is actually moving money from existing projects to actually fund that. Just a good thing to have. And we are amending $250,099 in savings from Oakland Middle School project and $99,901 from the Whitworth Buchanan Middle School projects. We're also kind of doing a bit of cleanup, amending the $59,184 from the campus school renovation budget to the new elementary schools budget for architect's fees. That is the cash that we are temporarily using for the Stewart's Creek design. Talking to Lisa, we don't want to run into a deficit on either of these projects while we're going ahead and moving the money. But the recommended motion is to amend $350,000 for the design of the Eagleville School additions from $250,099 in savings from the Oakland Middle School project and $99,901 from the Whitworth Buchanan Middle School project, and to amend $59,184 from the campus school renovation budget to the new elementary schools budget for architect's fees as presented. And some of y'all weren't on the commission when we had to increase the budget on both of those schools. So some of this savings is some of the changes we had to make due to the city requirements and all. And then the money that's left over on campus, $55,000 of that is early on in that project, we paid a design invoice or issued the purchase order out of the general purpose school budget, and we held it in case I needed to take it back to GP. And so that is really money that we used our fund balance to cover that part of the project.
Thank you, Mr. Sandvik. You've heard the recommended motion. Other questions from Mr. Sandvik?
Motion to approve as presented.
Thank you, Commissioner Jordan. I need a second to his motion, please.
Second.
Commissioner Turner, thank you so much. We will need to vote and have this, Ms. Shelton call the roll, so. take it
Commissioner
away.
Allen?
Aye.
Commissioner Cook?
Yes.
Commissioner Jordan?
Yes.
Commissioner Phillips?
Aye.
Commissioner Sereno?
Yes.
Commissioner Turner?
Aye.
Commissioner Jordan?
Yes. Mr. Sandvik, will you, you have more stuff?
I have more stuff. This is just for y'all to be looking over. Our joint meeting is May 24th. This is the current version of the general purpose schools budget. And just so you will have seen something before y'all show up on the 24th. And we will be making changes to this as we move on.
It says on a tiered budget.
We have not done
Okay.
tiers at this point.
Okay, at this point, oh, okay.
Right.
Okay, Chair.
Some people like tiers, some don't.
Mr. Sandy, that is one, are you going to stay with us, or are you leaving?
Well, I was
I
going
do.
to stay for the rest of the meeting.
Okay, okay, that's fine. I wanted to address the 24th a little bit later. I got a spot down here. Any questions from anyone? Conservation Board, County Recreation Director, Mr. Ben Cates is with us this evening. We enjoyed his presentation last year so much, we just begged him to come back, and he actually came. So there you go. Mr. Cates, welcome.
Well, I want to give credit to our mayor for this, because when I met with him and Ms. Nolan, he encouraged me to contact you to do this, and I appreciate any time people want to hear about recreation, I'm willing to talk to them about it in a few minutes.
And I think too, since he was mentioned in the health department report, really the folks, you've got a website and a whole list of places where people can go for recreation.
Well, I did, as you looked over at me when she said that, came out the end of my seat. The person that did that survey evidently was on their way to Miami via Southwest. I'm very familiar with the municipality's recreation program. I mean, Laverne and Smyrna and the city of Murfreesboro, and also Eagleville. Eagleville has a complex. I don't know whether you've ever been out there or not, but it is absolutely beautiful. And I'm fixing to share with you just a thumbnail sketch of what we do in the outlying areas. I don't know whether this person thinks that I do get a paper every morning where I live on Cripple Creek Road, so I don't know what the deal was with that survey, but I don't know whether you'd like to help me get to the bottom of that or not, but I'd like to pursue that just a little bit at another date. Our program through the Conservation Board really is a two-phase program. We call it winter-summer, although our winter program starts in late fall in October. We go through the winter months and early spring, and we close down in April. Our summer program is an 8-week program that will take care of June and July. As you can see, we use existing facilities, and that's the beauty part about our program. We have a very good working relationship with the school board and the director of schools, and we've had that. I've been doing this is my 39th year, and we've had it for every year when I started, and that makes this thing go, as well as working with this committee, the Conservation Board, and all the commissioners, and a lot of people in our communities that help out, volunteers that I want to talk about a little bit later. In the winter, we this past winter now, we will wind up this month. I do want to give you just a few figures. We had 14 gym sites. We almost had about 14,000, which is about an average of 1,000 per month. We had junior pro basketball at 7 different sites, and we had about 550 young people that participated in that. We do junior pro at Eagleville. Now, we don't duplicate what the municipalities do. In other words, an example of that is in the winter months we use the municipality of Smyrna uses Smyrna High School gym. In the summer months, we use Smyrna High School gym. So we kind of work together and try not to duplicate. But at Eagleville, of course, as you know, they started a football program there several years ago. They wanted a junior pro program, and we helped them start that, and it is very well run. And what they do, they play on Saturdays, and whomever they play on Friday nights in their league, they play on Saturday, that community. And it's just, it's really good, very organized. I'll get a call if I don't mention, we also have cheerleaders. They had about 30 or 40 cheerleaders, and each one of them have about 2 people that work with them. They, of course, are age graded, just like the football players are. And they take that very seriously, and at halftime they do a little dance routine and everything, so it's very well done. In the winter program, we generally have 3-hour blocks, and that means like we may open from 3 to 6 after school's out. Now that depends on the school. Your high school is a little different because you've got basketball practice and football practice and all of those practices, so we have to work around all the school functions, especially in the wintertime, which we do. We open in afternoons, nights, weekends. We try in our winter program to really find ways to involve adults. We feel like that if you open that facility to an adult, say at Eagleville, when that school gets ready to have a function and they have participated in that gymnasium and brought their family maybe one Saturday afternoon to play and to have fun, they will be more likely then to say yes to help that school when a function transpires because they feel a part of that school. And we think besides the physical fitness and all the things that we try to accomplish in recreation, that really helps the school and the community kind of bond as far as getting a lot of things done. In our summer program, we generally go about a half a day, Monday through Friday, 4.5 hours. We had 21 gymnasiums, playgrounds because we hit the gyms like at Kittrell, Clarence Brandon on cooler days. They've got a real good facility there, playground area, and he'll take them out there to the playground because you're dealing with a younger age. We had an attendance of a little over 18,000 at those 21 sites. We open only one pool now, and the pool is at Laverne. George Parrish runs that pool and does a tremendous job. Everything is very clean, well organized. 2 lifeguards, and the reason that we have pushed to keep a pool open down there, so many kids can walk and ride bikes to that pool, and there's not that many pools around. There are, but that pool is used and is open because of the vicinity of the pool, and we had over 700 kids that participated in that. We have a wonderful junior pro program in the wintertime, and we have a tremendous, I think, because of, in the summertime, league play out in all the community areas. Those parks, of course, are on school facilities. Rod Edwards, who teaches at Blackman Middle, coordinates that whole thing. We have one salaried employee that takes care of that whole outfit. We had 71 teams and over almost 1,000 participants. Now that does not include all the coaches and all those things that Rod Edwards has to put together, including the schedules. He has to work around horse shows and 4th of July picnics and all those things, and we're willing to work around all those things because it is in that community. The volunteers that take care of this and also help with our junior pro and all the activities in the wintertime, we could not operate without them. These folks, for example, if we have a game tonight at Las Cassias, it'd be too wet, but if we were having a game tonight at Las Cassias, before the lights that will be cut off, which are paid by that organization, not by the county, that place will be probably cleaned, if not cleaned, by the next morning. And they're volunteers. They flip the hamburgers, they sell the concession stands, they pay the umpires, and they do all those things, and I'm proud of that because they take stock in that, they have bought into that, and it is run really well because of their influence in the things that they do. They don't just drop off their child and go home. They park their car and they are part of that program, and it's more than just having a ball game. It's really an event because when you pull up at that activity, we have seats, but a lot of people bring chairs because those seats are generally full really early, and it's a fellowship time. If Rockville plays Las Cassias, it's a fellowship time for folks to get together and enjoy one another. We furnish just the basic playground/gym things that they need to play with. It may be table games, it may be arts and crafts. Whatever that gym director needs, that's what we try to buy for them. The county, of course, furnishes the facility. I furnish a person that works at that school. I have the supervising principal. I like for that principal to select that person. That person knows those young people that come, and I feel like we have a person that we can depend on and a good, fun, safe place for those children and adults to come and play. I taught school for 39 years, and I know, and you know too probably, that we've got a lot of young people that don't see a lot of happiness. And when I go in a gym and I see people having a good time, that makes me feel good as part of our program. I'll be glad to, I could talk on and on. Jeff said keep it short. So I'll be glad to answer any questions of anything that I've talked about or anything, comments that you'd like to make. And Mayor, anything you'd like to say?
I'd just like to say this is one of the most impressive programs that I think that we have. And the return on the small, modest investment we have in this program is just outstanding. And Mr. Cates is largely responsible for this, and his leadership in getting so many people to work together and all of these volunteers. I just really want to say thank you. We really appreciate that.
Thank you, Mayor. Thank you for your support.
Thank you.
And I can remember when I first come on the county commission, you coming up here and it was a struggle to get a dollar out of the county.
I know. I know.
Bill Ketron and I worked hard to get
I know you did. He came and met with us many times.
Yes.
Many times, and talked to us and learned what was going on.
So you've been here and made history with us, and it's good.
Well, I'm doing. I enjoy doing what I'm doing, so it's fun to work with folks.
Mary, you might try and get Mr. Cates to tutor some of our other department heads, because he can do more with less than anybody in the county.
He really can.
He can run this whole thing out of the trunk of his car with a roll of duct tape.
You might want to mention your website.
My website, and I want to give credit to Dick Conley. Dick Conley teaches. He's the technology person at Wilson Elementary. And he talked to me several years ago. He said, now, Ben, we need a website. And finally I agreed, and he put all this together. And it's RutherfordCountyRec.org. And it's linked to the county website. So if a newcomer comes in, they can link that to there, and they can see, like, if they live in the Eagleville community, we have a person that's in charge of different leagues and phone numbers of that person they can call, and if not, they call me and I put them in that direction. But we do have I'm very proud of our website. I'm glad you brought that up.
I have a question.
Yeah.
I recently learned about a program, not one of your programs, but a rec league program that was not doing background checks on their coaches. And I'm just curious to know, do you do any kind of a background check on any of your employees or volunteers, and what are your thoughts on that? Because as a parent, I was surprised that it wasn't being done, because I think now these days that information is so readily available, we just automatically assume that it's done and kind of take it for granted. So.
Well, first of all, as I said earlier, my employees are teachers, so that's already taken care of as far as the people that work for me in the teaching end, because they've already gone through all that, I'm assuming. And so, as far as the coaches and people that work and that are recruited to do that, we do not have a rule that we have to go through that. Jeff and I have talked about that. That could get to be monumental if we start saying that we have to do that for every volunteer that does everything. I know where you're coming from. I'm not opposed to it, but I know that could be a monumental task in recreation to do all of that for every coach and every person that participates. I don't look at just this program, but I look at the 4 municipalities and the hundreds and hundreds and thousands of people that work and volunteer. It would be a monumental task. And Mayor, you might could help me on that. I don't know.
Well, I mean, you shared some of the same concerns we have. I mean, I don't know how you do it in a practical way, but yet still provide the safety network that people expect.
The people that coordinate with me, Rod Edwards, who is the league commissioner, everybody that works in our playgrounds that is in charge of things like that are, of course, school employees. So I'm taken care of there. But now, as far as the volunteers, no, I'll just answer your question. We did not do that.
Any other questions from Mr. Cates? Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Cates, thank you very much. On your agenda, if you'll just take a quick look there, I think we've probably covered everything except maybe some information sharing things here. Does anyone have any new business? If not, I have a couple of things that I need to discuss with you. The first, I'll just go ahead and do 7, and that's the meeting on the 24th, which is at the school board offices, and I know we discussed this last time. 5:30 on May 24th. This will be a joint meeting with our budget committee and with the school board, and the director of schools, Mr. Sandvik, will be there, and perhaps others. The purpose of the meeting is, just so everybody's clear, and the general public, of course, is listening to this, so we want to inform them as well. The director of schools and Mr. Sandvik and perhaps others will be presenting and answering questions about the budget proposal for the following year. And you have got that for now, I'll come back to that in a minute, with you, and I suggest that you know, you spend some time looking at that, as I will. This helps the director of schools and the school board in that they have presented it to the budget committee and to us, although it is our meeting, and that they do not have to go into a lot of detail twice, at least not the initial presentation, only one time. Which brings me back to Mr. Sandvik. Mr. Sandvik, you alluded to this a minute ago, and just want to make sure that if there are major changes in the next 30 days or so, and then after that as well, you will get that to the members of this committee, right? And this budget that you handed out tonight, can you possibly get that at least to the other budget committee members?
Oh, absolutely.
Before then, since they will be there, they will not be voting, but they'll be there and they will have questions. Okay. Now, on that night, we'll have some goals that we'd like to meet if we can, but can't always do exactly what we'd like to do. But we can add to the total budget, school board, to subtract from the total amount, not a line item, but the total amount. We can ask questions, very specific questions on anything that we would like to have more information about. And we'll be in their building, and usually Mr. Sandvik or a member of the staff or Mr. Gill have the answers, but if not, they can get them for us. If we, like every other committee, what we do is a recommendation to the next committee. I mean, it's not, we haven't passed anything, we're passing it on after a careful look. And so that's, if we cannot do that night, then we'll have to meet again very quickly, because obviously budget wants to take a look at it, and we're supposed to have a budget for the county, of course, in late June. Let's see if that's everything. The meeting, I think I said, the meeting is our meeting. We'll be the only ones voting there, but absolutely, I want y'all to help me with this. We want to make absolutely sure that, that I don't miss it, I don't make a mistake. I don't leave somebody out. I doubt if I'm going to do that on this committee, but I might do it with school board or with budget, and we want to entertain and have every question answered before we leave that room, if we can do so. And I'll do the best I can, but if you pass me a note or something, if you think I need to do something there. Are there questions from anyone on May 24th and kind of our goals? Yes, sir. Mr. Sandy. Yes, sir. Thank you.
New commissioners on the committee, one of the issues we face most years is our revenue numbers don't come in until fairly late. I will be at my state meeting May 19th and 20th.
Okay.
Yeah, which is later than usual, but things are, you know, there are a lot of things up in the air. But that, you know, we realize it would be nice to be at this point a little bit earlier, but we don't know enough to have really good answers earlier on. So just wanted to.
Well, yes, and I think I appreciate you sharing that. Really, I don't mean to sound like an expert here, but I know from this man sitting right here and from you that the budget is a changing thing almost daily. It's not daily, weekly, and it really, it's either intense as it is right now, or you're preparing to get intense at some point pretty soon, and it never stops.
Right.
And so anyway, we will be dealing with, on May 24th, with the figures that you have on that day.
Right.
And you are in, I know because I talked to Mr. Gill today, and he's ready to go. I talked with Ms. Nolan today. She said she has shared with you, and will share with you again, every figure that she has that you will need on that evening. So whatever shape we're in, that's the shape we'll be in on that night, and we'll have up-to-date info.
Thank you.
Any questions from Mr. Sandvig or anything I failed to share? Okay, I have one other item, two other items. First of all, Mr. Gill shared with me today that and so did Dr. Burns, that the May 2nd, which is Monday night at 7 o'clock, the school board has a special call meeting to discuss budget and budget items only. And when it's a special call meeting, of course, that's all they can discuss. At 7 o'clock Monday night at the central office. And Mr. Gill made and so did Dr. Burns, made a special note that I was to invite everyone in this room, as a matter of fact, but Health Ed Committee for sure. Also, and I know that you will already be up and ready to go on Friday, because obviously all of you will be up and watching the royal wedding, which is at 4 in the morning, I think. So I know you'll already be awake for a really important item, which is taking place at Oakland High School. And you may have gotten an invitation to this today. I don't know whether you did or not. If you haven't checked your mail, you'll get it today. Oakland High School has invited us to a really happy event, an academic pep rally. If you've never been to one, it is terrific. And I will promise you that I don't know if I'm going to be able to go or not myself, but I'm telling you that it's 8:30 in the morning, Friday morning at Oakland High School.
This Friday.
This coming Friday, that is correct. 8:30, an academic pep rally, and it is, if you've ever seen the movie Toy Story, and as a grandfather, believe me, I've seen Toy Story a lot more than I wanted to see it, but it actually was pretty good. But anyway, I think that's kind of their theme, and of course the idea is they're obviously stressing academics and graduation.
I believe it said they have 135 students with a 4.0 grade point average. I believe that's why I got my invitation today.
Oh, did you?
That's a lot of kids with a 4.0.
That is terrific.
135, if I'm not mistaken. Now, I believe that's the number. Of course, that's all 4 grades, I take it,
Right.
but that's still a lot of kids with a 4.0.
Well, we have been invited by numerous people have mentioned this, and I got mine just in the mail today, and I already had written on here, so I didn't even read it. I just knew it was 8:30 on Friday. But Ms. Howard, ESL teacher there, and Mary Richardson, guidance counselor, and the principal, Mrs. Spurlock, all invited us. So there you go. That's Friday at 8:30. Okay. Any other new business? And I appreciate your patience as I slug through those things. I appreciate it very much. If there's nothing else, I'm going to assume that we are adjourned. Thank you, committee. Thank you so much.